it started raining. It started raining. I looked around. I was like,
do I love football this much?
I was like, yeah. So I had gloves on. They taped my hands. First snap, say hi. And I was like, I must have broken something. I don't feel my hands. And I look, I can move everything. And I was like, oh, bro, it's cold.
Yeah, man. People don't know because they see it on TV, you know. But when you play I haven't played in that cold weather, but I played in cold weather. Your fingers, your feet are numb. The ball is a rock. Having to hit somebody, it hurts you, it hurts them. Like more than usual. Like just any like light little pop. It's just, oh my God.
Then you feel like you're not moving, but you're moving. It's difficult.
I never felt like when I played in cold weather that like I warmed up.
Oh no.
Like I always felt like I needed to warm up throughout an entire game.
It's better to be out there playing than sitting on the sideline. I'll tell you that much.
That's for sure. Welcome, guys, to the 31 Vision podcast. Today we have a special guest with lots of playing and coaching experience. I'm really excited to share this with you. For those of you that are first-time viewers, we're here to give high school athletes, parents, anyone in the sports world that is trying to become a collegiate athlete or a pro athlete, the right tools and experiences, the mistakes, the goods and the bads, so you can learn from it and you can copy it. All right, so without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself, brother?
Appreciate it. First of all, appreciate you having me here. My name is Johan Betancourt. I'm the USA flag football coach for the 17U boys. I've coached Ryan football for the last 15 years. Best friend of mine, brother, Rudy Fernandez, got me into it. And we've taken off from there. Coaches a lot of athletes, coach tackle football. Recently coach at Gulliver Prep right now. But yeah, man.
He's actually coached two people that have been here, Sean and Nico.
And Nico.
And actually, Rudy, we've been messaging a little bit. I'm trying to bring him on as well so we can talk about Ryan football.
That'll be difficult. He's in Vegas.
All that good stuff. Yeah, that'll be tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So talk to me. How did your sports life start? Would you start playing?
Honestly, I was raised by my mom, single parent, no dad in the picture.
Same.
Yeah. So playing sports, bro, ever since I was like in daycare, I can remember, bro. I always had a ball in my hand. Always when I was home, wherever I was, I had a ball in my hand, just tossing it up, doing something with it. Drive my mom crazy, my grandparents.
Of course.
So, I'll get yelled at for breaking this, breaking that. But hey, something I loved. Besides that, bro, never played Pop Warner, like Little League football.
Really?
None of that. Yeah. Played baseball, basketball.
I was about to ask you, were you a typical Hispanic boy? Like baseball?
Put you in baseball. You're playing basketball, soccer. But yeah, man, it's where I've gotten to now. It's played college in North Dakota. After that, injuries came. And then I really thought to myself, what do I want to do? Came back home. Talked to Rudy, got into coaching after school sports. I say after like 8 months being there, the principal came to me. He's like, hey, you want a job? I looked like I was lost. I was like,
what?
Yeah, all right, cool. Let's try it out. Why not? So ever since there, I've taken off with Rudy. Worked at Alexander Montessori as a PE coach. I was there for about 8-9 years and then moved on. I'm at Gulliver Prep now, PE teacher, elementary. Amazing job.
Nice.
I don't wake up saying, oh, I got to go to work now or whatever. Like
you get the kids when they're charged up, ready to let loose.
Exactly. It's fun. It's amazing. And then coaching wise, like I said, we've had Nico here, Sean, all those. I had them since they were like youngins, 8 years old.
It's crazy when it goes full circle, right?
100%, and to see them where they're at now, it's like, wow.
It's nice because I only met them now, you know them, they're like little jits,
It's crazy.
So what's it like to see somebody, because I can kind of relate from some athletes that I've had from maybe freshman year to senior year of high school, but what you're talking about is a whole other, that's how's that like, seeing them grow up like that?
It's crazy to see them where they're at now, becoming successful. They're both at great universities. They're doing what they're supposed to do, what they've had to do, and just getting their future right, man.
They have good heads on their shoulders, man.
It's more than football.
Yeah.
I've always taught them that ever since they're young. Like, football is not everything. Sports is not everything, but it keeps you entertained. And if you make it that far with sports, then great. If not, school comes first.
I try to tell especially the ones that are becoming teenagers and they're getting into that age.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, man, like football dictated how I felt, how I treated people. It dictated, like, it was like I was obsessed with it, and like you said, it's good to tell the younger athletes that it's not everything. It's good to have something that you're borderline obsessed with, but just know that your life isn't just this. Like, you're not just this. And with the way school is a little bit, like you kind of have to open their eyes a bit to understand like the system and like political situations they're in, with sports and all that.
Of course.
So how do you, for someone like us that we're around kids all day, how do you tell someone that's not, like, because people have told me, like, I don't know how you're around kids all day. And I was like, I don't know how you're around adults all day.
Right? It's different. I don't know, man. Like,
I enjoy it.
I love it. Like, they teach me things to this day. They teach me things to this day that I'm like, oh, wow. Like, some kids are different characters, man. Like, some make you mad. Some are just going to make you laugh all day.
Right.
And some you're just like, all right, just keep on with it,
Stay in your lane.
Exactly. You'll be all right. But yeah, man, it's fun. It's honestly what you can teach them, what you can learn from them.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Would you say it's relatable to sports? Like you being a quarterback or a leader in this, and then how can that relate with what you do now?
How can it relate?
Like, how did one prepare you for the other?
Yeah, how did one prepare me? Coaching wise, prepared me. Them listening, them trusting you, showing them how you can lead, and then they become leaders. Look at Nico now. He calls his own plays, playing in Top Gun, doing that. And you're like, back then Nico would look at you and be like,
what do I do?
What? Just freak out. He still has his moments here and there, but
we all do.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy the way that goes from that, and then you becoming a player. So every time I go play and be like, oh, he coaches, he knows what he's doing. It's not always the same. Now we're dealing with adults that, they think they got this and, oh, I'm better than him. I'm better than that. And I tell them all the time, I was like, hey, let's just relax, play ball and have fun.
Yeah, staying in your lane and understanding how to play a role. That's why I've told people that have sat in your chair that being an entrepreneur is a little unrelated, but kind of related. So being an entrepreneur and working for like a company that's already established, neither of them are bad. As long as you know yourself and like if you can play a role really well, you don't have to start your own company.
No.
You can be successful in either route, and you understanding how to be a part of a team is something that I really like that sports shows you. So like if you go that route to where you don't want to be an entrepreneur, but you just want to work for like a huge company or something, you can be successful there too, make the money you want to make or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to go your own route, that's something that you need to have a little more self-discipline because it's all on your shoulders. But I try to teach the kids that whatever route you do take, just think about sports.
1,000%.
Think about how you deal with people or how you deal with a coach. That's how you deal with your boss.
Yep.
Like how you deal with people that you like or don't like, how you maneuver, kind of the same thing with like coworkers.
Yes.
And I try to bridge that gap for them. And they look at me like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it does make sense. You get along with your team, that's going to be your coworkers.
Yeah. And like we've spoken about, you spend more time with your coworkers when you have a 9-to-5 than your family sometimes, So
100%.
if you don't like a coworker, you got to figure something out, Same thing with a teammate.
Push it to the side and go.
We've had teammates, people that have sat in your chair. Like we've all had teammates or a teammate that we dislike, but we understand that we need to come together for a common goal. Mm-hmm. Business is no different, Working out of school is no different. You're trying to teach the kids valuable lessons. And even if you and another teacher may not agree or see eye to eye on stuff, what matters is the end goal.
Yeah.
And sports is the same thing. You're just trying to get the 100%. W, work together.
Yeah.
So how do you get trust from teenagers?
How do you get trust from teenagers?
Yeah, like you said, 17U, right?
Yeah, man.
That's a tough age, man. High school?
100%.
To get the trust? What do you do, man? It's a very vague question.
Off the bat, you just talk to them. Let them know what you expect from them. And I ask them what they expect from me. I tell them off the bat, any questions you have, ask. And at the end of the day, it's like, here's my phone number. Whenever you guys need something, I'll be there. Like, to me, my biggest thing is I tell all the kids that come, through my program or come just across me. my biggest thing is when you make it to high school and you have your graduation day, make sure you invite me. That's going to be my biggest goal. Seeing you walk across that stage.
That's awesome, man. Because that's an opportunity that nowadays, like, people our age take for granted, but our parents did not take things like that for granted. Like, you graduated. My mom's only goal when I was 18-ish was just get a diploma.
That's it.
Like, they graduate from high school, and if you want to pursue the college route, just get a college education, get the AA, and you'd be surprised how when people love you and care about you, they just want to see you graduate, how big of a moment that is. Yeah. So that's really cool that you tell your kids that, man.
Yeah, 100% every time.
So going back to Johan, the athlete, right? So we talked a little bit. So you say you didn't play Pee Wee football and stuff like that. So you started with flag, I'm assuming?
I started with flag. No, actually I started flag my like junior year of high school. Okay. And then played tackle my freshman year, you know. Big body walking around. They're like, hey,
yeah, go come here.
You know, went out and I was like, all right, cool. Freshman year, made it to the varsity team. And like after my second game, I was a starter.
Nice.
You know, played there, loved it. It was fun. You know, we weren't great, but yeah, it was fun. Go out there, throw people around. Yeah.
So when did quarterback come into the picture for you?
Quarterback. Like I said, sophomore, junior year, high school, group of my friends. They're like, hey, let's play in this flag league. Ruben Dario back then.
Yeah.
And then we're like, whatever. We did it. And we're like, we don't have a quarterback. I was like, I'll try it. And then ever since then, I was like, I guess I can do it. Yeah, I guess I can do it. You know, big guy playing quarterback. Why not?
If you had one side of the ball you would prefer to coach, I think I know the answer, but in tackle or flag, what would you?
Offense all day.
All day, right? Yeah. Put up the points.
All day. Defense isn't easy, bro.
No, bro. And especially with the rules, the way the rules are changing and the way they're enforcing certain things, they're
especially IFAF and all that, 4 downs, this and that. I'm like, oh yeah.
In flag football, yeah, IFAF rules. God, yeah, it's brutal. Like, you sneeze on somebody and it's a penalty. you pull a flag like impolitely.
Oh no, playing that last year with coaching in that last year, the kids, you know, come across, bat a ball down, but hit their arm, and they're looking at me and they'll be like, I was like, it's okay. Gonna happen. Just pull flags.
Yeah,
that's it.
Was there, especially because I'm assuming all your kids play tackle, right?
Yeah.
Is it a big adjustment for them to have to go from tackle to flag when they travel, and then to do IFAF specifically?
Not that much.
Not that much. Okay.
Especially if they played since they were younger, you know, they get it.
Okay.
No contact, no this, but it gets a little harder with IFAF.
IFAF is,
you know,
really
usually in flag they let you know bump here and there, but IFAF is nothing.
Yeah, zero contact.
No contact. You know, and a lot of these teams, they go by the rules 100%. Like Japan, Mexico, all of them, they're like strict about it. Yeah. So I'm like, all right,
yeah,
cool.
I see people taking flops out there sometimes too. I'm on that. I'm gonna start taking flops when I get a chance.
100%. They, you know, they
taking charges.
They take advantage of it.
It's awesome, bro. All right, so high school, what was your mindset as far as going to college or not? Or
my mindset was, you know,
you just want to keep playing?
I was going to end up at Miami-Dade or something, you know.
Yeah.
But 1 year after high school, just working out, you know, guy saw me at the park, Pete Monson. He's like, hey,
Pete. I know Pete.
Monson. Yeah. So he was like, hey, you never did anything in high school? I was like, nah. And then he got me in contact with a couple schools, and from there, I went to school, you know, thankfully for him and stuff. So, yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, I haven't spoken to Pete in a while, but he was always trying hard to get kids in schools,
he's a great guy, man. Yeah.
That's someone actually I need to bring on here or maybe message and
for sure.
See what he's up to.
Yeah, he's at St. Brendan.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely hit him up, man, because all he's tried to do since I last spoke with him was get kids into schools. Is he still doing it?
He's still doing that. That's what he does for St. Brendan right now. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So let's talk about your. I know a little bit about that college because Dusty.
Oh yeah,
and Munchie too. Yeah. So talk about that. First of all, how to get there. Let's talk about. So you're going to South or North Dakota? Which one?
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
North Dakota, and it was just like, hey, it wasn't a new school, but they were recruiting heavy. Mm-hmm. And then I think from Miami, it was like around 5 or 6 of us, honestly. And then got up there, you know, not expecting, you know. And we're in the middle of nowhere.
It's culture shock.
That's it. We just had a Walmart around us and, you know, little diners here and there. Got up there. It was nice weather. We're in the summer, right? So we got up there cool. Once that winter hit, we were talking about -13, -15. And I'm like, But all the kids that were up there, once we saw snowfall, everybody ran outside, typical snowball fight here and there. But yeah, it was nothing crazy, It was just go to class, football, work out. And on the weekends, it was basically all of us got together. We're playing basketball. We're hanging out in the game room, watching TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. When you're out, so during the season, how was the weather?
During the season, the beginning, it was nice.
But once we got
to that later, last 3 weeks, 4 weeks of football, it's everybody's going out there in sweatpants with their football pants on their sweaters, shoulder pads, ski masks, helmet.
And for Miami guys, that's like the worst culture shock ever.
Especially when coaches like line up one-on-ones. I'm like,
one-on-ones?
I can barely feel my hands right now. Probably one of the worst games we played in. It was like, man, I'll probably say it was like in the teens, and it started raining. I looked around and I was like,
do I love football this much?
I was like, yeah. So I had gloves on. They taped my hands. First snap, say hike. And I was like, I must have broken something. I don't feel my hands. And I look, I can move everything. And I was like, oh, bro, it's cold.
Yeah, man. People don't know because they see it on TV, but when you play I haven't played in that cold weather, but I played in cold weather. Your fingers, your feet are numb.
Goes numb.
The ball is a rock. Having to hit somebody, it hurts you, it hurts them. Yeah. Like more than usual. Like just any like light little pop. It's just, oh my God.
Then you feel like you're not moving, but you're moving. It's difficult.
I never felt like when I played in cold weather that like I warmed up.
Oh no.
Like I always felt like I needed to warm up throughout an entire game.
It's better to be out there playing than sitting on the sideline. I'll tell you that much.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So when you were at school, man, what did you want to do education wise?
Education wise, I thought about physical therapy.
Okay.
A lot. Yeah. And then, got my bachelor's in sports management.
Okay.
And
so you always knew sports was going to be a part of your life?
Always. It had to be somehow, but
same here.
Didn't pay attention to physical therapy that much. And like I said, when I got back, got with Rudy and took off with coaching from there.
Nice. And then, so how long did you end up staying at?
I was there for 2 years.
For 2 years? So
2 years. And then I was going to go somewhere else, but I was like, injury-wise, I was like, I'm done,
What some of you might need to realize, guys, is football is extremely wear and tear on the body. It's physical. I know some of you know that, but it's different when you have to go through a season where you're expected to perform week in and week out. And sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you prepare during the off season. You feel great. Oh, yeah. Like it's like a graph. Like week 1, you're like how I feel, and then like 2, 3, 4, 5, you might get a little, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By week 10,
taking care of your body is important, man. Like taking care of your body, nutrition, all that. Like it's.
And there's a common misconception with younger athletes, and sometimes it's coach's fault as well. Because I was told this when I was around 15. Like, oh, you're young, you don't have to stretch, or oh, you're young, it doesn't matter what you eat, or I hate hearing that.
I've heard that plenty of times.
I hate hearing that because
just put your cleats on and go.
Yeah, bro. Like no. Like you said, like in a span of a season, especially if you're playing both ways, guys. Like even if you're just playing one way, your body's gonna get torn down. And if some of you are doing extra work on your own, also now that we're on the topic, just lift twice a week. Don't overdo the training on the outside of your practice and your demands of your sport. And if you're not sure on what to do because you don't have the guidance in school, you can message Johan or myself and we'll lead you in the right direction to what to do in season and off season. Because I don't know about you, but I see some kids that they have the right intentions, but they overdo it during the season and they don't know the difference between like one phase and the other phase.
One thing I see a lot is, when it comes down to stretching, like a lot of kids try to miss that period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I got to go get this, or I got to go do this, or I'm taking my time putting on my cleats or my pads, or just, lollygagging here and there. And I'm like, guys, this is the most important part of practice.
Or going to see the trainer and extra taping.
Exactly. Exactly. But I see it all the time and they laugh when I tell them. I was like, yo, like seriously, like you need to stretch. This is the most important part of practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys have no idea.
And a lot of younger athletes don't understand either that the way you feel when you're done with a physical session, whether it's lifting or just playing sports, is you'll feel better if you prepared your body through that grueling process. But if you go from cold, like imagine a car, you turn the car on and you just start racing somebody. You know what I mean? Like it's not the best form of preparation, you know?
Yeah. No, it's funny because I say it to this day. I used to laugh when coaches used to tell me this. It's how you prepare throughout that week and how hard you practice is what you're going to give out on that game day.
And we always thought that was a load of ish.
I would laugh.
Yeah.
I would laugh,
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah. On Friday, I'll turn up. Don't worry about it. And bro, and I realize it now. I'm like, wow.
I bring it up with every coach or player, and that's something that we talk about. I'm glad you brought that up. The culture of practice and the culture of hard work and all this stuff. I don't know if it's because of social media, or I don't know if it's because of everyone is just like a results-based kind of thing. But it's kind of getting lost in translation, man. And practice habits and pushing each other during the week is so crucial to having a great team.
Yeah. And all those, I think, has ruined it. But all those rankings for like young kids and all that, I'm sorry, but
there's even in youth football now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. 6 years old and up, and I was like, come on now, guys. Like,
and my issue with the rankings with youth football, like, it's all over the United States.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
Right. So
it's everywhere. It's
already kind of biased in college, and college is like billions of dollars in it. So people actually travel to look at different players. How are you going to compare a youth player in Oregon and one in Florida? Or how are you going to compare one in Texas to one in Wyoming or something? Like, there's no way to know, bro.
Platforms trying to make money.
That's all it is, man. And some parents and coaches fall into that trap. And do you want to do your ranking? Come to this tournament.
Exactly. Come to this camp. You'll do this, this, and that. Hey, but at the end of the day, guess what? Once you get to college, you're no longer ranked a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. You're a regular ball player.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true, man. And it's just, I like competition. There's nothing wrong with competition. It makes athletes better. But there's a point and there's a line in the sand to where, and that's when social media gets brought into it, that it kind of gets blurred, and then people worry more about how a game looks on film, or like when they clip together something for advertising purposes or to, you can have a shitty game. Yeah. And I can put together a beautiful highlight of you. Of course. You can have a horrible game. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people get so worried about looking good in a game instead of getting the W and winning.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it.
No, 1,000%. It's crazy because all these kids spend all this time making a highlight, right?
Yeah.
But when that college goes, send me a game film. And they're like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I spent hours making this highlight.
No. I want a whole game film. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, because a lot of athletes don't know that. I'm glad you brought that up. So what's the difference for a coach, right? Mm-hmm. Seeing, like, what do you look for in game film versus just a highlight? Like, why would they want game film?
Because they want to see what happens when you do a bad play, or what goes wrong. What's your next step after that? Attitude wise, everything.
So keep that in mind, guys.
100%, man. Like, I see it all the time. You see, and all these verbal offers. It's cool. It's good. But it's real when you can say, hey, can I commit now? I've seen it happen to a lot of my players.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Let's talk. I've seen, a couple of players that have gone through Gulliver, or different schools. Like, I know a lot of players everywhere just because of the whole 7-on-7 world, flag football. But, they get this offer, they get that offer, they get this offer, they get this offer, and they start blowing up, right? But a lot of those offers are just following the hype. It doesn't matter if you're a sophomore, junior, senior. But you got to be consistent off the field and on the field, because you never know what coach is looking. Never know what coach is talking about you. You never know any of that. But also, you don't want to wait to the last minute to commit because, I expect something bigger to come. Bigger as in what? That's a free education you're getting.
Right.
It's a free education. You get to play football and your parents don't have to worry about playing school. That to me is already,
that's a huge win.
That's it. You better make sure you verbally commit. Even if you have 4 or 5, pick the best one, go visit it, see what you like about it, commit. And if something comes in that you're expecting, then, it's time to think about it. But I've seen it happen, man. I've had players where they have 15 offers and they're like, oh, yeah, but I'm waiting on this specific one. I'm waiting for Texas A&M. I'm waiting for UM. I'm waiting for FSU. I'm waiting for this. I was like, you sure? At the end of the day, when it comes down to that signing day and you're calling these schools, can I commit? No, I'm sorry. We have enough receivers already. Oh, coach, can I commit? No, I'm sorry. We got enough D tackles already. And you're like, but you guys were just talking to me a month ago. Like you wanted me this, and that. I was like, yeah, but
We did. Past
until
tense.
so-and-so, told me they wanted to commit and we took them because we didn't know what you were going to do.
Mm.
And then you're stuck going to, a junior college or something else. But it's sad to see, very sad to see.
Of course, man, because you like you said, they follow the hype. So like you see all these especially on social media, you see like all these little logos of schools. You're like, man, this guy is doing it.
Yeah.
But then you just don't say yes to anyone.
Exactly.
So what would be your advice? So like, when is a good time frame to, like, let's say it's your senior year or something, like, or junior year? Like,
if it's your senior year, you're committing before the season.
Okay, so you suggest senior year before the season even starts?
Verbally commit. Verbally commit, stay in communication. And then a lot of mistakes kids make as well. There's several schools reaching out to them, D1 AA, D2s.
Right.
And they don't respond because they're like, oh, I'm bigger than that. So when I communicate with a lot of schools and they're like, hey, I'm reaching out to so-and-so, but they're not communicating back. So I'll walk up to them, hey, what's going on? Coach, just,
trying to D1 only.
Like D1. I was like, D1? What if D1 doesn't come?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so-and-so told me it'll come. And I was like, they're going to give you an offer?
They have it on paper? Like they have
exactly.
proof?
Like you can sign right now? Like, and they're like, oh, no. And then, a couple of weeks pass by, I'd be like, oh, Coach, I'm reaching out. They're not answering. Oh, they moved on. Yeah. Don't make that one mistake of not, stay in contact with everyone, fellas.
Don't burn bridges.
1,000%. Just one little mistake can cost you. Because you never know. That guy right there at a D2, and 3 weeks later, he's going to be at that D1, and he might want you, but he's going to be like, nah, he wasn't messing with me back then. Why should I mess with him? Yep.
Yeah. No, that's true, man. A lot of things, guys, goes into play with recruiting, and I'm happy that we're diving into this topic. The recruiters are human, so if you don't treat them correctly, they have more power than you think. Like, yes, they're just a bridge from the coaches to what the coaches want for the program, but still, like, the coaches aren't meeting with you. It's the recruiters. So if they say this guy sucks, like his personality's trash, he thinks he's too big of himself or whatever. And even if the coach is like, man, this guy's really good, but I guess
communicate this and that. Yeah.
I guess we're just going to pass. Like the coach is not going to be like, oh no, try again.
No.
They're already spending money to get you out there.
Again. Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah. Like, there's think about, look, if you're ever not sure about what we're talking about, think about, this will humble you. How many football players are in the United States that are trying to get to, in your class, that are trying to get to college? So when you start curving schools, just think about that, Oh
yeah. Especially now with that transfer portal and all that, it's insane.
That's a whole other topic.
I tell them that hurts you as well. Because, if a school knows they can go after this receiver that has 2 more years left and he's been in college already, he's ready to go, why go after this young kid that's coming out of high school? Yeah. So yeah, that as well. So if I'm watching this episode right now, I have offers, but I'm not sure where I want to go. And my senior year is going to start soon. Like, what do you suggest? Like verbally committing to school, even if I'm not sure? Or you're going to look at the rosters, first of all, see what they have in that position you're trying to play, see how successful those players have been, see what you're most successful in, what type of offense, what do they run, where they see you playing at, and also what coach has given you that love. Even though that love is for a little while, you get because they're trying to get you. But typical when the coach keeps it real with you, it's because they really want you and they care about you. But yeah, like I've had a couple of parents lately that I've coached their kids since they were younger, and now they're approaching their senior year, and they're like, how do I know it's right? Because I'm just living in the moment right now.
$1 million question.
My kid is going to this school, we're visiting schools, and I'm just looking like, wow. And I was like, honestly, you'll just feel it, man. Like, ask questions. When a coach says you have any questions, doesn't matter if you pull out a notepad, ask the questions you want, education-wise, sports-wise, all that. How many times a day do they feed them? Whatever you need to ask is going to make you feel comfortable, ask it.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, because a lot of players, they commit to something because they see a building,
Oh,
or
100%.
they see an NFL player that used to go there.
Or they try on the uniform and it looks nice.
They take the pictures. Yeah.
They're treating you like a king. You know, you're walking through, you're riding the golf cart, you're doing this. Oh, that doesn't matter.
Guys, every school does that.
1,000%.
So
every school has uniforms.
Yeah.
Every school plays football. Like, you know, people used to look at Tulane like a little school.
Mm-hmm.
And I would laugh because I was like, all right, they're gonna be something big, you know. We got Carson Haggard up there now, and now he's reunited with Yo Keith Brown, which was at Texas A&M. Like I said, always following the D1 big hype. That doesn't matter. If you can play football, you can play football anywhere.
Yeah. And what Johan said about the system, guys, I can't emphasize that enough. So there are different ways to play football, right? So let's say you're a certain kind of skill player, right? You need to look for players that play like you in the moment at that program. So if the program, let's say you're a wide receiver, I don't know, and then you go to a program that runs like the wing T.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go there.
Good luck.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you need to go to a system that really fits you. You even see it in the NFL. A player will flourish in one NFL team, and then another one buried in the bench.
1,000%.
Why? It's the system.
And it's not always going to be as I played tight end in high school or receiver in high school, and I'm going to this school and I'm going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Great example, CJ Donaldson. Carlo Donaldson, he played at Gulliver, number 4, 6'3", 220, tight end, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We use him at receiver, tight end, everything, H-back. And now he's playing running back at West Virginia.
And what was his plan? Tight end or receiver?
He was a tight end receiver. He went up there first week. Coaches looked at him and be like, hey, we're moving you to running back. Oof. He's like, what? Like, all right. You know, 3rd, 4th string last year. First game, they go. I talked to him before the games and stuff. What are you feeling like? He says, I might get in, I might not, coach. I don't know. I'm a true freshman. All right, cool. Starting running back goes down. Oh. They got the second guy playing. CJ comes in. It was like I believe it was like 4th and 2.
They put him in a big moment, huh?
Yeah, it was. He said it was a passing play. Quarterback looked. Says quarterback audibled, and his eyes just got big and got that carry and took it 25 yards. After that, he came out. They put him in on special teams on punt block. Blocked the punt.
Oh, there you go.
They recovered it on the 1 yard line. He's running off the sideline. Coaches look at him. He's like, nah, finish the job.
Yeah.
Punched it in. Ever since that, he went crazy. Like, you know, he averaged about, I think it was 115, 120 yards a game.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, unfortunately, you know, injuries held him back. Broke his ankle. Well, before that, he had a concussion. Came back, broke his ankle. Now recovered. Is now going through spring practice, all that. But kid's a beast, man.
I wish him the best, man.
Yeah.
And there's a little lesson in what you said, too, for you football players that are watching. Do not think ever in your life that you're too good for special teams. Ever. I used to take pride in special teams, and I would not have played as much as I played on regular downs if it wasn't for what I did sometimes on special teams.
That's where coaches look at you the most, man.
Yeah.
See what kind of hustle you're giving or what effort and all that.
Yeah, because that's the blue collar stuff. That's like, it's not pretty. And then sometimes you have to take a blow from somebody. If you're blocking, someone's gunning downfield and you have to eat it just for someone to be able to like 1,000%. Make a run for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a glorified position in any means besides the returners. Yeah. There's no glory in it.
Or if you're back there trying to set a nice hit or something. But yeah, other than that, it's
And when going back to what you said about the game film, they might look at that too.
Oh, 1,000%.
Were you too good to play special teams? Were you trying on special teams? Because when you go from being the guy to a freshman on a team, guess what? You might be only on special teams. So they see that you think you're too good for it, and they have 2 players, and they're like, man, this guy really went crazy in special teams, and he started. This guy's like, he took reps off. He was not trying as a gunner. I might go with this guy.
1,000%.
You know, so remember, man, everything with technology is a double-edged sword. Yes, it's great that you have everything recorded, but everything's recorded. Yeah. The eye in the sky doesn't lie.
1,000%.
So what in your opinion, before I ask that, do you ever have an age group that you like specifically like to coach? Is it high school or you just love coaching football in general?
I just love coaching football. Honestly, I've coached of all flag football. I've coached 8U, 10U, 12U, 14U, 17U.
Yeah.
Tackle, I've coached it all. I've coached peewees, all that. Coached coach 10s to like 15. So yeah, it's fun.
Very well-rounded coach.
It's harder to coach younger kids in tackle
for sure.
1,000%. You know, because they want to do
just a bunch of floating helmets,
especially in flag. Actually, you know, coach, throw me a fade ball. Coach, let's do this. Coach, let's do that. And I'm like, guys, relax. We'll be all right.
Run the place.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
So what's the difference between gaining trust from, because you've coached it all, right? What's the difference between gaining trust in a certain age group, like let's say high schoolers versus, you know, middle school or elementary? Like, is there a difference?
Elementary right off the bat, you know, but these older kids, they look at you, like, especially if they don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, what does this guy know about this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at this guy, like, you know, and then once they start seeing stuff and they're like, oh, okay, he knows what he's talking about. All right. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not only just on the field, like off the field, you know, let's say we go out to eat, sitting down and talking to them, communicating, be like, hey, how's your past? What do you struggle with? You know, this and that. What's your favorite thing to do? You know, like for me, ever since I started coaching flag football, Rudy, I told him one of the biggest thing was team bonding. So every chance we got, you know, we'll take them paintballing, bowling, barbecue, pool party, this and that. So yeah.
Because you know what that helps with? Besides making bonds, that creates trust on the field amongst players. Like, 100%. Yes, you're building great relationships with your players, and more times than not, they're going to respect you just because of your position. But trust amongst players is not guaranteed.
Yeah. Like you know, practice is always good. Yeah, you want them to know what they're this and this that, but sometimes they're not bonding because they're so focused on doing the right thing or doing that they don't want to mess around. Mm-hmm. But you got to give them their chance to hang around, let them be kids. You know, so yeah. So
if you had a tip to give, it would be that to coaches, practice, but also give some bonding time.
Give some bonding time, 1,000%. You know, do what you got to do. Even if it's you go to practice and you order pizza after and let them hang out. You know, bring out, you know, water balloons, water guns, something. Just let them have fun. Let them be kids.
That's great advice right there. Yeah, because I have a hard time, not a hard time, but trying to get the kids to understand, like, right now it's time to work.
Yeah.
Right now it's time to play, but they're still kids, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of try to find that line.
It happens all the time. Trust me. I'm out there coaching and I'll say something and I'll be like, guys, look, there's times where, you know, it's time to get serious. Yeah. And there's times where we can have our fun. You get me?
Right.
But, you know, you hear coach yell, just, hey, lock in.
You hear that bass in his voice. You're like, oh.
Let's go. Yeah. You know?
So what in your opinion, because you've had a lot of success that we haven't really discussed, what in your opinion took your coaching to the next level, you think? Besides experience, you know, that's an easy answer, but.
What took my coaching to the next level? The people around me. People around me, you know, Rudy, my wife, you know, she supports me day one, 100%. Like she said, she's my number one fan. And that to me means everything. Learning from other coaches as well.
That's a big one.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Not having an ego.
Yeah. Like to me, it's like, I always, you know, think, oh, I'm better than them. I'm better than him. But at the end of the day, they might do something where you're like, I like that.
That was good.
I'm gonna start putting that into my program.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because, you know, as much as I'm out there coaching in the flag tournament, I'm also sitting there watching, see how this coach does what, how this coach does that, this, you know. When it comes down to coaching, I can say I'm pretty calm at times. You know, I don't like yelling at the players. Like, and I tell them to this day, if I yell at you, it's because I know you can do better. I'm not yelling at you because I'm mad. I'm yelling at you because I need your attention and I know you can do this better. You know, it's like with the 12U we took to Vegas NFL Flag Nationals this year. We didn't practice at all.
Really?
The only practice we had were tournaments here and there. And, you know, we played a league at Red Zone. We would play tournaments here and there. You know, sometimes so-and-so couldn't show up. Sometimes this guy couldn't show up. But our biggest leader on that team was our quarterback. You know, great kid, great head, you know, head on his shoulders. He's amazing. And just everybody around him, you know, every single little piece on that team did what they were supposed to. You know, we went up to flag nationals. We went the first day. They were a little cocky, you know, but we went first game. We lost off the bat.
Ooh, punch in the mouth.
Yeah, off the bat, we lost the team. We went for 2. It was pool play. I wasn't going for a tie. We lost. I was like, all right, cool. We needed that. You know, went to the next game. It was a sloppy game, but we got the win. Next game, we got the win, you know, 2-1 on the day. Took them out to eat after, let them hang out. They all went crazy, you know, running up and down the strip, the hotel, this and that. You know, we're in Vegas. So we have a meeting later on that night. I looked at them and I was like, I've been here. I've done this. I've won a national tournament coaching a team before, you know, and they're all looking at me like, and I was like, this isn't for me. I'm doing this for you guys. And they all get serious and they're like, all right. So I was like, I don't care, you know, how you come out to play, but just whatever you're going to put in is what you need to expect the outcome to be. So they hung out, let them hang out for a little while. You know, I told them, you know, bed 9:00. You got to be in your rooms. Don't stay on your phones till past 11 or 12, you know, whatever. Woke up the next day, had them at the park a little earlier, warm up, you know, went over some stuff that we needed to fix. And then first game, we come out, we played the first playoff game. Second team, we played the first day, which was sloppy. We came out, we beat them 32-0. And I'm looking like, okay, all right.
They turned it on.
It's time to play ball. Next game, I played a team, beat them 28-0. And I was like, I'm looking at the bracket. And then the other 2 teams that are playing that we play the winner of is a team we lost to and a different team that we faced before. Well, program I faced before, you know. And the team we lost to lost. So I was like, all right. So coach is walking up and down the sideline, you know, a little cocky. He's like, we got this in the bag.
Oh.
And to me, I feed off that. You know, I feed off that. And once you get me going, you get me going.
Don't stop it. Yeah.
Like, once you get me going. So I turn, I look at my players and I'm like, you guys hear that? And they're like, yes, coach. And my kids were focused. Like you can tell they're sitting on the sideline, you know, they're having their snacks, you know, they're hanging out. Excuse me. Time to warm up. We warm up. They're not messing around. That coach goes to the other sideline, different field. So he's like, he's clapping. I can hear it all. You know, this is our game. I was like, all right, cool. We get ball. We score 6-0. They get ball. We stop them. I was like, all right, sweet. We get ball. We score 13-0. We got our extra point. And at that moment, it's a different ball game, coach. Don't get too excited. They get the ball. They're driving. So they start talking. I was like, all right, you know, it's good to get a little cocky. Your team needs the energy. But watch this. I make some adjustments. We get a pick. Goes into halftime. I look at the team and I'm like, finish it. Don't just put your foot on the pedal. Finish it.
Right.
Come out. They get ball. We stop them. We get the ball. We score. You know, just ball players on that team. You know, we go to that was semis. We go to the championship game. You know, main field. They have the cameras all around.
Of course, this was prime time.
They look at me like, Coach, we're gonna mic you up. I was like, that might not be a great idea, you know. But it is what it is, you know. We came out, we struggled. They got the ball first. They scored. We got the ball, they stopped us. You know, I'm like, all right, it's all right.
Backs up against the wall.
Yeah. So they get the ball, we stop them. We get the ball, they stop us. And I think they scored right before half as well. Like they had 3 players at least like 6'2", 12 and under. And I was like, all right.
Huge for kids, bro.
We haven't played a team like this, so we're okay. You know, we haven't been in that position either. We're down 12-0. Rudy looks at me at halftime because he was there. He lives in Vegas. So he looks at me. He's like, hey, relax. Talk to the team. You got it. I was like, I got you. Bring them all in. Talk. I was like, I need effort from everybody. Mistake-free this half. We'll be okay. Trust me. I was like, you guys trust me? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, guess what? I believe in you guys. All right. We get the ball. Go. We drive. I believe it's 4th down right before the half. So on NFL flag, you get 4 downs. But if you don't get the first down, they get the ball right there where it was at.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's only before midfield. After midfield, it's only 3 downs.
Okay.
So I was like, it's 4th and 2. I'm going for it. I was like, they're going to press my best receiver. I'm going to put him right next to the center, and you're going to run a post corner. He's expecting a post. We haven't run double moves at all against them. Quarterback looks at me. He goes, I put it there? I was like, put it there. It's probably one of the best throws I've seen.
4th and 2, baby.
4th and 2, they come up. They're all playing man across the board, and I was like, oh, got him. He runs his post corner. Once he runs that post, safety turns his hip to go that way. Got him. Threw it to that back pylon. Money.
Nice.
I was like, I told you guys,
what a
relax.
good feeling.
Yeah. We got that extra point. We're down 12-7. They get the ball. We stop them. We get the ball.
Momentum.
Score. 13-12. They get the ball. They score. They get the extra point. I was like, it's all good. We get the ball. We score. Extra point. Tie game. A minute 30 left. No pro clock. They get the ball. They're driving. 3rd down. I call a timeout. I believe at that time it was around 1:10, maybe a minute. Looked at our defense. I was like, we're going to show man. We're going to drop into the zone.
These are 12-year-olds now. This is next level stuff.
They can play ball, They looked at me and I was like, all right. So they show it. And I was like, as soon as they say hike, you got to drop right into your zone. They try to throw in route. Our DB comes across because he thought they were following from the other side, knocks the ball down, 4th down. They're looking at him. They see the punt or go for it. He's like, punt. We get the ball. We go curls. We get past midfield. 15 seconds left. I call a timeout. I was like, all right. I got a 6'3" receiver. I got my 2 fastest receivers. I got my center, which is the smallest player on the team. I was like, all right, send everyone deep. My center is going to run a China right, left.
Okay.
I was like, you're going to look like you're about to throw a jump ball. They're not worried about the middle at all. He's like, all right. Looked at it. Down said hike. What does their defense do? Bail. China catches the ball, running, splits 2 defenders, spins, touchdown.
Ew, going nuts.
There's no pro clock.
So that's it. Ran out an extra point.
Ran out. They called the timeout. It was like 5 seconds left. I was like, this clock run on an extra point. They're like, yes. I was like, perfect.
Go run.
Over with. It's a great feeling, especially in the way the game was going.
Yeah, down 2 scores.
Yeah. Because big thing about that team that I took is I had about 4 or 5 of those kids with me when they were like 8U and 10U. And then I took some time off. And then they're like, coach, come back. And I was like, I got to think about it. Thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'll do it. And it was a great experience. It was amazing.
That's awesome, bro.
Oh, yeah. And then, like I said, I've coached with a lot of people, man. I've coached with Rudy, Spider, which is Patrick Webb, Andy Baca, Zach, Mike Haggard. And the flag world it's crazy. It's different. It's relaxing. It's fun to me. Like some people take it a little overboard, here and there. They're going to yell. They're going to do this. They're going to call you a cheater. They're going to do this. I've gone to tournaments where teams are looking at us and be like, you guys are cheaters. I was like, why?
What do we do?
Why? And I was like, all right, it is what it is. And every time we go somewhere to play, I always tell the kids, I was like, you guys got a target on your back. No matter where you go.
No reason to. It's just there.
A target on your back.
Yeah. They gotta find something to
Every
say.
successful program, even to Lewis, he's very successful, with the kids he has, and he does everything he does. And we're the most hated in flag world, 1,000%. Whenever you go somewhere to compete and you're from Miami, Florida, you're being hated on.
Yeah. And that's something that I can also relate to with college as well. Some coaches just don't like when you conduct yourself in a certain unapologetic way, they take it as arrogance or like you don't respect the program but the confidence that a lot of Miami athletes have, it's
different.
Arrogant. It could be arrogance. There are arrogant people here. There's millions of us, but it's just a different kind of confidence. And Miami wouldn't have as many athletes as it has if there wasn't confident athletes doing amazing things.
1,000%.
And going back to the recruiting process, guys, if you see that there's a coach that's not necessarily a player's coach, what I mean by that is lets you be and lets you act the way you want to act, maybe that's not the best fit for you. Of an example, like if you have a certain outspoken player in the NFL, they're not going to want to go to the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to understand what college you're trying to go to. So when you go on these visits, like Johan was saying, have that notepad, like have your phone with a bunch of questions. Hey, what system do you run? Or hey, what year, if you're a receiver, what year are your receivers in? Or hey, what is this? Or what's your record holder?
How many commitments are you taking this year?
Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of great questions. So when he asks you, do you have any questions? You just look like, hey, that's a nice jersey, man. No. Ask questions,
Yeah. Like I know you're living in the moment and it's an amazing feeling and all that, but make sure you have your questions.
So I like asking everybody this at the end. So if you can travel in time and talk to your younger self, what are 1 or 2 pieces of advice you would give yourself?
Man. Off the bat, focus with school.
Same here, bro.
1,000%. Take it more serious. Take everything more serious. Take the weight room more serious. What else? School. Focus more. Just take every piece of advice, man.
Don't think you know everything.
Yeah.
Don't be a regular teenager.
I'm all right. I got this. I know what I'm doing. I'll be all right.
Right.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So do you have any advice for our high school athletes? Anyone trying to get recruited to a college, or any last piece of advice for?
Just keep working. Just keep working. Don't put your head down. Keep pushing. There's a school for everyone out there. And don't think about it just because if it's a D2 or D3 or this and that. Like, man, if they're willing to give you a scholarship and you're able to go to school for free, take it.
Amen to that. I'm still paying student loans right now. So, so take that scholarship.
Take that scholarship. Even if the only option you have is PWO, take it. Work your butt off. Show them that you deserve a scholarship. I've had plenty of kids take a PWO in their next following school year. Hey, guess what? You've earned a scholarship.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what he's saying, he means preferred walk-on.
Preferred walk-on, yep.
Yeah. So a walk-on, before we leave, is a player that they like you, but they're not in love with you. Yeah. And then they already had a certain amount of spots taken. But then once you play with the team for a semester or a year, depending on what kind of agreement you have, you earn the scholarship or you continue to be a preferred walk-on, which is what I did. And I also got a scholarship. So it's great, if you work hard, you can do it, man.
1,000%.
It's doable.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys, that's it for us here. If you found this educational, entertaining, useful, please share it with other parents and athletes. All right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.